The Nastycollective podcast. Yeah, I said the Nastycollective podcast. What we talking about? What is good with you, ladies and gents of the world? We out here with a special guest, the man of the hour. Why not? LWC. Hey man, good, introduce yourself to the people out here. You know, tell them a little bit about like who you are, and first, you know, you talk to the motherfuckers out there. You know?
I bet that. So, first and foremost, my name is Why Not LWC. You can call me Why Not. I grew up in Sioux City, Iowa, a little bit. So it's dope that we're back here doing this interview. Let's just get into the name.
Yeah,
let's get in, because a lot of people ask questions about the name. Most of the time when they meet me, they're like, "Why not? So why not?"
What made you call yourself Why Not?
So what made me call I used to watch, and I still do. I used to watch this video on YouTube. It's called "Why Do We Fall?" And it's like some like, you can call it corny if you want to. I don't think it's corny. I think it's dope. But it's like a motivational video, and it's like a compilation of a bunch of different videos. You know what I mean? And like Rocky is in there talking yada yada yada. But there's a part, Derrick Rose, and it's awesome because like he's not the best in front of the camera, and I'm kind of the same way. Like once I see a camera, I don't even want to look at it. And he was asked about like the MVP, and this is back when he won it, like the year, I think it was the year he won it. But the season wasn't over yet, and he said something like, he said, "Why not? Why can't I win the league MVP? I don't see why I couldn't do that." And it's not extremely profound maybe to anyone, but with the music behind it, bro, and I used to just work out to that shit. I just got out of prison, you know what I'm saying? So I'm already in this like redemption arc of my story, I feel like, at least in my head. And it just felt right. Like I was like, yeah, like why not? Why can't I still make this dream happen? Like, yeah, it was, you know, I went down, I went to prison, and I hit my lowest moment in life, but why couldn't I still make this shit happen? Other people have done more than that, and other people have come from worse circumstances than I just put myself in. So why the fuck couldn't I make it happen? If they can do it, why can't I? And it just like, it really resonated in me, even though it was just like this simple thing. He stumbled his words, but I just connected with that shit. You know what I mean? And
it's almost like you don't want to feel sorry for yourself. Like, you're not putting yourself as like a victim role. You're like, like we surviving out here. We doing this shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just like that. Yeah. Like I ain't no fucking victim. Like, I'm gonna own everything that I did and own the spot that I'm at and understand everything that I did in my life. My choices led me to this point, but I can completely flip it. Completely. You know? And that's all in my control. So that's why I went with the name. That I can always go with that. And then, lo and behold, not as original as I thought. And I fucking loaded that shit up on my TuneCore. And Why Not was used 100 times. So I was like, all right. And then, so this is what I did. So I got off parole. Then I went to Denver with my girl. And it was her birthday. And we microdosed a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Took a little bit of shroomies, you know what I'm saying? A little microdose. And we went to, but it was a microdose, bro. Like I'm telling you, like 0.3, which is really all you need. Like, little side story. All the people out there, I remember when I first, like I was like 14, curious about it. And people were like, yeah, split an eighth. Don't do that. Fuck that shit. Take like 0.5, dude. You'll be good. Like something cool will happen. Like don't split an eighth. That's what I did my first. Anyways.
Yeah, good advice.
So we go to Denver, and we go to this shit called Ynotlwc, and it's just like this trippy art exhibit. And that 0.3, it squeezed all the juice out of that bitch, because you're in there and you're seeing trippy shit, bro.
Damn.
Trippy shit.
Yeah.
So it triggered that. Anyways, okay, so we're back at the hotel. I'm laying there, and I like, especially now, if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna do it once a year, and I'm gonna do it. It's like a medicinal thing. When I was a kid, it was like, I'm gonna do this just to trip out and have fun with my friends, whatever. But now it's like, it's a medicinal thing. And I'm looking for answers, and I'm trying to find something. I'm laying there, bro, and like my eyes are just closed. I'm just seeing shit. And then I get like deep into this psychedelic experience where it feels like I'm walking through, this is gonna get wild, I know, but this is me on shrooms. I'm walking through, and it's just people, and they're all just like on their screens. Like everyone's just, which isn't that fucking profound either. Like everyone everyone's on their screens. It's not hard for me to put that shit together.
Mm-hmm.
But like it felt like really deep and heavy to me at the moment. And we were listening to like dope music. I forgot what kind of music we were listening to, but it wasn't like regular music. We were listening to like some shit that'll kind of spark your trip. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And anyways, so I'm seeing all that, and I'm not looking at a screen, and I'm like, damn, I don't want that. I want to be the person like making the shit on the screen. Like I want to be a creator. I want to create shit, because that's what eventually you know what I mean? Like everyone that's being creative, like that's who's. Otherwise, you'll get stuck not living your life if you're just consuming. Even the people that do consume my shit don't consume too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, live your life. But that's what I just, like, saw that, and then that gave me the idea for, like, and I felt like, so everyone was, like, in their screen in my hallucination, and I was the one that wasn't. And I felt kind of lost. And about when I first started making music, me and my homeboys, we went by Lost World Music Group. Mm-hmm. So then I had this trip, and in my head, like, the statement or whatever that I came out of the trip with was, like, the world belongs to the creators. So I was like, Lost World Creators. So then why not LWC? Just add that LWC at the end for Lost World Creators on that shit. So that's the long story of my name.
Yeah, because when I was watching some music videos of yours, it was like Joey.
Yeah.
LWC,
Yeah.
So I was like, take me back to those days right there where you were performing, or not even performing, but you were making music during, that time, calling yourself Joey. Yeah. Like, what was the mindset during that time?
Okay, so the mindset during that time was...
And how long ago was that?
Okay, so, yeah. Let's go back to that. So, that was, let's see, 2016.
Okay.
So, that was back 2016. Just started making music. The first name I actually went by, bro, sucked. I've always been bad at names. Like, why not LWC from a marketing standpoint? Terrible. But I'm going to fucking run with it now. I'm not changing it again. It means a lot to me, too. Anyway,
that's awesome.
First name I went with came out of, like, a freestyle. And it was, I don't even like to say it. It makes me cringe. But Aldous Pressure. Terrible fucking name. Super, yeah. I mean, anyways, I want to use a word, but...
Nah, you gotta make your name, You
100%.
Bro, 100%. Nasty, bro. Like,
that shit hard. Nah, dude, I like
when it's nasty, it's like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But, you gotta own that shit
at this point, For sure. Nah, Nasty's dope, dude. Nasty's fucking dope. Point. Nasty's dope. Because it's like, like my bro Nasty sounds cool as a dude. And then for the girls, you know what I'm saying? Nasty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why not out here, man? You make me feel better about myself out here,
No, bro, and Nastycollective, like that shit hard.
Hey, I appreciate it.
I love that shit, for real. I swear I'm Joey is what I was going by. I swear I'm Joey. And then for the music videos, though, like, bro would just put Joey, and that's just my name. That's my government. Well, Joseph, technically. But, so I was just going by, I swear I'm Joey at the time, which I did like the name. It was just... I went by that, and you got to understand, during that time in my life, I was living in California. Me and my shorty were out there with our dogs. And, it was just a different time in my life. So I was, shit's all, like, said, done in the court system, you know what I'm saying? I was doing my thing. I was making that work move, whatever you want to call it. And once I went to prison and got out, I just... didn't identify with that character anymore. Not that I was playing a character, but like, I just like to look at life like that. I like to look at life like a video game movie type shit. I was left alone in a house, not attended to a lot. So I watched a lot of movies as a kid. Mm-hmm. So that character that I was at that time, like once I got out, I didn't identify with it. And the shit that I was talking about when I was making that music too, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't lying about anything. You can go back and look at it. I mean, especially like working in Sioux City, you can ask around. You know what I mean? I wasn't lying about shit. Like, it's funny when we marketed some of it, people were like, the comments that we would get, especially on Facebook, were like, oh, another like fake rap fucking hustler wannabe, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, damn. I mean, you can think that, but like, nah. Like, but anyways, once I got out, I wasn't doing that shit no more. You know what I mean? So it was time for just a change. It was time for a change in the name, change in the branding, because who I am now is not that person. Like, I still got that in me. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's still in me like a motherfucker. But, you know, I'm a bad guy trying to be good now. So
yeah,
I'm riding that wave as much as I can. And when I got to bring the bad guy out, I will. And a lot of the times it does come out in the music again. But, yeah, I had to just dead that shit. Move on to something else. New chapter.
It's weird, but it's like a nice quote when it's like, you could take the plate out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the plate.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
know?
It's forever there.
Yeah,
it's forever there.
And I see what you mean, you know, for sure. And like going through those years in prison, like I wonder, you know, like how did that make you feel as a person? Like when you went in to when you came out, you said you're a whole different person. What made you even want to change? Like, because, you know, some people will come out, dude, and they go right back to, like, how the fuck they were, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, what made you want to change specifically?
I think a lot of it had to do... That's a really good question. I think a lot of it had to do with the reason I went. So, and it's no disrespect to anyone who finds himself in that situation. You know what I mean? I wish everyone the best.
Yeah,
but
for sure. You're just speaking your truth.
Yeah. This is just why I went. I went because... I was grinding, hustling, moving a plant. You know what I mean? Like, allegedly selling a plant. And so in my head, I wasn't really doing something that crazy or that wrong. Yeah. Once you end up with 114 pounds of that plant, I guess it's a different story in the eyes of the law. You know what I mean? But in my head, like, I wasn't a villain. I wasn't out here robbing people. I didn't even carry a gun. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the time, didn't even carry a gun. I had homies with me type shit. But, like, me personally, like, I had something at the crib, but like when I'm out and about doing my thing, I didn't even carry a strap, bro. Like, cause it was smooth business. Like everything was smooth. I wasn't out here like causing ruckus in the streets type shit. Even though when I went to court, the judge called me a menace to society. That's what she said. Damn. Like verbatim menace to, which is, it's a plant. But so since I went for that, my intentions have always been good. You know what I mean? I always wanted to like, my intentions were always good. You know what I mean? With the money, everything. Like, always good intentions, pure. There was a time where shit got away from me. So, what prison did, when I went in there, it did put in perspective everything I was doing with the profits of the... I'm just trying to use my words carefully. Everything I was doing... Like, I had a $26,000 Rolex. Why the fuck do I need a $26,000 Rolex? You know what I'm saying? Like, if... Like, moms ain't working, but moms ain't in their own spot. Why the fuck you got a $26,000 Rolex? So I'm in prison now. I just lost all this money. I just lost all my opportunity. I just dropped all these music videos that I can't promote now. I was in conversations with a fucking legendary producer. Like, I was gonna have to drop the bag for an EP, but it was like $10,000 a song type shit. Yeah. But he approved it, and we was gonna work on the EP, and he was making his comeback, and we were gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just lost all that shit, and I had to own it. And then also I had to own, you got all this jewelry, bro. You got this car, you got all this shit, and now like the value's way less because they know you're desperate when you're going back to sell it to motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So you essentially lose everything. At least for me, I lost everything. Then I'm in this place and I'm seeing these motherfuckers, bro. Like, there are some good guys in there for sure. There's plenty of good guys. Yeah. But you see a lot of people just withering away, talking about this is my retirement plan, not stressing, casually talking about, it was kind of funny, but casually talking about like just hitting girls. Like, you know, like, why you in here, bro? You know how bitches be tripping when you like hit them and shit? Like, yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah, but like everyone around you, like, yeah, I feel you, dog. You like, God damn, you just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? But so you're in there with them, but then you do find that. So I wasn't working out. Like, I was out on bail, and I was fucking off my whole life. Cause in my head, I'm gone forever. Cause I ain't talking. You know what I'm saying? I got a good ass lawyer, but in my head, cause in Nebraska it's like 0 to 20. What I got hit with. Fuck. So anywhere from probation to 20. Big gap. And you know, your mind goes crazy. Yeah. Luckily, I've never had charges in Nebraska. I've had charges in Iowa. And I had a good lawyer. So it worked out in my favor where it wasn't, you know, that crazy time. But in my head, I got this shit from Iowa, this shit from Nebraska. I'm about to do 25. I'm just going to party and fuck off. Like, I just fucked off, bro. Went in and and started working out with a good group of guys. Started working out. Started reading books. Started owning my shit, like owning everything in my life type shit.
Wow.
And this is before I even got into like any kind of motivational book reading. I was still reading like fiction and shit, but I was just like, you just think about all your fucking mistakes, and you at some point you got to stop running from like the responsibility of them of them. And once I owned that shit, bro, I was just like, yeah, it's time to step out and just focus on music. Because before that with the hustle shit, I made it to a pretty high level. You know, you don't just end up with 114 packs. Made it to a good level, and but I was like 50-50 in the music and the hustle. So I was like, I get out and just 100%. Music, bro, the sky is the fucking limit. Right. You know what I mean? The sky is the fucking limit. And I like I said, I've always wanted to do good. So I think when someone gets out of prison, that was a long ass answer. But when someone gets out of prison, you have to want to do good. It's your intention. Like, do you have pure intentions? You know? Right. So I think that's what it was.
So going off of what we were saying there, I want to say also, like, to me, to be honest, like, it's a non-violent crime, how you were saying, you know? So it's like, to be real, I don't feel like anybody should judge you based off of that at all. And I feel like being surrounded by the people that you were surrounded by for doing what you've done is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
That's pretty crazy. Like, I know, like, that's just life. You know what I mean? I know that's just life, bro. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we are.
I agree.
You know, but that shit crazy, bro. Like, for peddling some flowers to a fool stabbing another fool, like, that's a lot.
It's wild. It's wild to think about. It's like, yo.
So that's why I'm like, that's why for me, it's not like, oh, that fool deserved it. Like, I don't think anybody would be like, oh, that fool deserved that much time or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
And if they are, then shit, bro. Like, you just don't know until you're in a predicament. Like, you don't know don't judge somebody in the way they're living their life, because you easily could have been that, but you chose this instead, you know? But like basically just be humble about your life, bro. Like,
you never know someone's circumstances.
You never know. Yeah, exactly. Yes. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I like what you said too, be humble about your life. Like, that's dope. I like that a lot. I like that. I like to be in my ego about what I do, because I like to own what I do and be a fucking like conqueror in that, in a sense. But like with your life and how you interact with others and looking at people's circumstances, like, you know, like you said, like, don't just judge someone off that shit. Yeah, I like that a lot,
for sure. And that's why, like, when I do shit like this, like, I try to ask you guys about your upbringing and the way, because so like I ask you about your life because with the music, it all comes back to that. The way you live your life, the way you, your history, you know, the way you feel. And because I bet you and other people make your music off of feelings that you're feeling, you know? So, like, at that point, this all matters. So, like, coming back to all of it, when you were having, like, your upbringing, like, how did that look like when you were, like, you know, a little youngin'?
Okay. So I was born Salisbury, Maryland. And then we moved to like different little small places in Maryland, and we used to visit my grandma a lot in Baltimore. I remember that. I have vivid memories of watching bus go down, like drug bus go down right across the street from my grandma's. And like her neighbor, she was this wild woman. She used to cut her grass with fucking scissors and shit, bro. Because in Baltimore, it's small yards.
Nice ass grass. God dang.
Bro, dude, she was fucking smoking that shit.
That shit better be evened out, because damn, taking the hell of time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. She was a wild woman. And then, so we're watching the bus go down. So we're growing up like that. Like, it was, I remember we could still go down to the little liquor store with like a note and get them cigarettes and shit. I remember doing that, like playing with kids in the neighborhood. And then we moved to Dover, Delaware. I don't know how old I was. Maybe I'm gonna guess 7 or some shit. And we didn't visit the family much, but we were out there, poor. All these memories, I don't remember my dad. He was gone, if I remember correctly, from like to where I could remember life. Like, he came back in my life at like 9, 10 years old. But I do remember like being a kid at 7, like saying like Papa. Yeah, like me and all my brothers, because my dad's from Chile, so my dad's Chilean, and we called him Papa or Papa, whatever. Like when I was younger, my accent was like East Coast immigrant. Like it was wild. Like I talked because I was around like his family sometimes too.
Wow.
But I just don't remember him at all. Anyways, poor as fuck. My mom just, working. My older brother's raising us basically because my mom's working so much, or we're getting raised in church too, in daycare as well. And so my brothers are 18, 19, trying to help raise me, my brother Franco, my brother Jake, which is his twin, and my baby sister, who is 2.5 years younger than me. I'm 28 now. So yeah, it's a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and 2 10-year-olds, 18, 19-year-old in the house, and then my mom's. And then something happened where we were gonna lose the house or something. It's not that we owned it, but the guy was like selling the property or some shit. And my dad ended up calling. It's funny. Apparently he like called my mom and he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he called my brother. My brother just told me this too. We haven't gotten into much of like the story of my dad till recently. Yeah. And it's actually kind of dope. I've kind of forgiven him for a lot of shit. He was kind of a badass dude, like pushing drugs. Like he's from Chile. Yeah. During the time where Pablo Escobar, he had his farms.
Damn.
Or in Chile. Mm-hmm. And my dad was fucking with Cubans, and it's a wild story about my dad, bro. That's a whole podcast within itself. Yeah, dog. Shout out your podcast. Yeah, shout out Juan, dog. Shout out Juan. Anyways, dude. So my dad calls my brother, and he's like, "How you doing?" Yada yada yada. And Tony's like, "Not good. Like, where the fuck you been, dude? Like, we're broke." And we're getting kicked out of the house, yada yada yada. And he's like, "I'm in Nebraska. Come to Nebraska. It's an opportunity out here. Come to Nebraska." That's how my dad talks, dude. Don't try to come at me about anything. I'm not Chilean, dog. But so he's like, Loey, bring the keys. Come to Nebraska. Joey, you want a PlayStation? You want a PlayStation, Joey? And at the time, bro, it's crazy the amount of love a young man has for his dad. Because at the time, I had every reason to not like my dad. Mm-hmm. And every reason to be upset about my circumstances. But I don't know. We went to church. We went to daycare. I remember getting food dropped off in the boxes, you know what I'm saying? Like from the church, they used to bring the food to your door and shit. Like I remember all that shit and not having anything. But like, I don't remember being poor. You know what I mean? I don't remember that. So like, I wasn't traumatized by any of it. I was just like, oh, my dad. So PlayStation 2 just came out. Yeah. And we had him buy the PlayStation 1 because we didn't want our dad to spend that much money. This motherfucker was just gone for my whole life. And we were like, we don't want him to spend that much money, dude. Damn. Dad, we can't make dad spend that much. Because you just...
Y'all some thoughtful ass kids.
Yeah, like, bro, I don't know. As a kid, when you look at your dad, it's, especially as a young boy, like, it's a different feeling what you look at your dad as. Right. And then you become a teenager and you fucking hate him for all this shit. But anyways, so then we moved to Nebraska into he says it's going to be awesome. We move into a 1-bedroom apartment, bro. So have you ever you've been to South Sioux, obviously? Yeah. So there's a Dollar General on Dakota Avenue. Do you know that spot?
Yeah.
There's an old library on the corner too. Right. And this shitty ass building, bro, where it like used to be just like a big ass house that they broke into like apartments. 1-bedroom apartment. Sleep on the floor. All of us, bro. All of us. And yeah, just like this sucked though. This was the first time I felt like poor like that. Cause we were sleeping just the circumstances of where we were, I think, knowing my family ain't close. Like we're in like a different part of the map. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of fucked with me some. And then the kids we met in the neighborhood right away, up to no good. Like before this, bro, I was getting my hair braided at goddamn daycare, like Allen Iverson, thinking I was gonna go to the NBA. You know what I mean? Like that was my goal in life. And then we got to Nebraska, and I was like, I'm gonna fake smoke cigarettes outside of this library and try to get the cops to chase us. Like just doing dumb shit, dude. Like who does that? Or like tag this building or whatever. We thought we were like gangbangers at one point. It was really fun.
Over in South Sioux right there?
Over in South Sioux, like,
Yeah.
we got down with West Side for a little bit. And we thought we were tagging shit, fighting people.
Yeah.
All that shit. I'm not affiliated with them. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down out there. You know, fuck 12. But, you know, hold it down out there on my real G's, dog. But, yeah, when I was a kid, dude, I used to wear Dickies. I used to fucking press them motherfuckers, or iron them out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom used to help me iron them out. Then we cleaned that up. That was literally like ages 7 to like 10. We were skateboarding and tagging shit and like trying to fight. And then from 10 to 14, I really got it together, and all I wanted to do was skateboard at that point. And then at about 13, my cousin, or no, 12 probably, my cousin Tabitha, we went back to Baltimore. My cousin Tabitha introduced me to fucking Tupac, bro. I might have been younger than this too.
Nice.
Might have been younger than this. Might have been younger than 12. Introduced me to Tupac, and also introduced me to like all the crazy conspiracy theories about like his death and his life and all this shit. So I, as a kid, got immersed in that shit. And then I started writing too, and like I thought I could really feel his pain too. I was like, I feel this motherfucker. I thought it was a Black Panther and everything, dude. And then so that was my first introduction to music, to where I would just write, but I wouldn't show nobody nothing like that. It was just still like skateboarding. We're just gonna be about skateboarding. I was 13, I think, or 8th grade, whatever 8th grade is, like the summer of 8th grade. I was focused on just like trying to do good in school. But I was never a good student. I would always like be like, I'm gonna do good. I'm gonna fucking make it happen this year. Never made it happen. Like never got my shit together. Man. Like would never. I hated it. I hated school so much, and I would fight a lot.
Some people for sure.
Yeah, dude. When I was in 7th grade, so in the yearbook, you know, when people would get voted like most likely to be famous, yada yada yada. I was voted peacemaker. One year, but it wasn't because I was a peaceful guy. It was like it was like ironic. Like they voted me that because I was like the only kid getting in multiple fights. Damn. Like, you know,
you're like, hey, this guy right here.
But I was like, but low key, I was very sociable though, in a way, like to where like I'm associating with a bunch of different people in different crowds. But there was always certain people in those crowds I didn't like. I didn't like bullies, and I felt like I could identify them easily. Because I grew up with older brothers. So I know what it's like when his friends are trying to fuck with me. I've known that since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I know if you're trying to get to me, and I'm going to fight you over. I used to get beat up a lot. But I know when you're trying to fuck with me, bro. And I used to, like, identify the bully. And then it's really my fault. I would look for ways to instigate something because I want to stand up to the bully. I think
I see
in like I don't even know if it's in a righteous way. Maybe I just wanted to fight. I was just a confused kid. There was a lot of shit going on at home. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, poor as fuck. Yeah, you know, I was insecure about the clothes I wore, insecure about the car my mom drove. I used to have my mom parked 3 blocks away from the fucking high school because I was like, nah, Mom, man. Like our muffler is fucking insanely loud. Like the muffler, dude, the muffler sounded like a surround system of a Transformers movie. Like it was fucking terrible.
Michael Bay shit.
It's a Michael Bay. We're pulling up in that Michael Bay hoopty, dog. That's hilarious.
Oh shit.
Yes, dude. Yeah. So I used to be just an insecure fucking kid that fought a lot. But I did have good intentions. I wanted to do well in school, be the first like person in my family to go to college and shit. And I wanted to be a lawyer because I felt like I could persuade people. Then my brothers were smoking weed. I used to fuck with them about it so much, dude. I used to be a hater. And told them they were dumb, yada, yada, yada. Get mad at them for, my fucking Oreos. and then one day.
Lunches, for sure.
Yeah. And then one day I'm like, fuck it. Go with them. Try it. Have the best time. I just remember laughing the whole fucking time. The whole time I laughed.
Yeah.
We walked home. The wind felt better on my skin. My skateboard, like the ride was smoother. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why I ever hated on you guys. And I was young. I don't recommend this, by the way. Wait till you're 23, frontal lobe is developed. And then, if you want to, give it a shot. But I was a young buck doing it.
One thing to say about that, too, is like...
Don't recommend it.
It hits people differently. It hits people differently for sure.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes when you do something, you're like, fuck, this feels so crazy that I feel like everybody should try this shit. You know, why isn't this beneficial to everybody?
Yeah.
And you just realize that like fucking people are different as fuck. You know, like everybody's body is so complexly like theirs, and shit like this does definitely hit differently. So yeah, that's why you definitely can't be like, hey, everybody should smoke weed.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it. I don't recommend. This is just my story. This is just what happened with me. Yeah, especially if you have people in your life like that have mental health issues, schizophrenia, stuff like that. If that's in your gene line, it could spark it. Yeah, like you said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it could spark it. Yeah. There's some studies out on it. I'm not smart enough to recite it or anything. I just heard about it in a podcast, and now I think it's true. But I'm pretty sure it's true. Like it makes sense. It makes sense.
Right.
Shit, my brother's schizophrenic. Fuck with us, you never know with him.
Yeah.
Like
you were telling me like that's how you were telling me like earlier how real your music is to you. You know, like when you are reciting in your music, like you really feel those emotions that you like you relay into that. Like not even if it's like word for word what you actually do, but it's just the fact that like it's true to you, you know, like everything that you are writing, it is true to you. And you know, that's cool as fuck to see. And with your music career, what kind of like goals do you see that you want to accomplish here, like maybe not within the year, but just within the time after, you know, whether it be 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, you know, because the slow grind is still a grind. So what kind of goals are you seeing for yourself there?
So, great question. Probably one that I should think about more often.
Yeah, no.
So Lost World Creators, that's the record label that I started with my boys. So we got myself, Why Not LWC. We got Two Trill Two Face. We got Facey Calamari. And those are the artists on it. And then I'm trying my best to persuade Nate Laurent to come to the team.
Hey, shout out.
That's the bro from the beginning, Lost World Music Group. You know what I mean? So him, because his music's incredible, and he's here too in Lamar's. So y'all definitely gotta link up. And even Two Trill and Facey, you gotta meet them. I would love for them to come sit down, kind of tell their story, do the same thing, do the surge. You know what I mean? We can talk about that or whatever. So the goal is to build Lost World Creators together, and the best way to do it though is for each one of us to focus on our own shit as far as creatively. Like creatively, just come up with your own shit. Like what do you wanna put out for the people, and how do you wanna like make this shit grow? So we're doing that, as well as like once we come up with that creative idea, that's when we come together. Okay, how can I help contribute to it? Oh, I think you didn't think about this part of the idea. Let's. So we workshop everything together and help each other grow. So the goal is to make enough money. Right now, this is my goal, I guess. I wrote this down the other day. Right now at work, I'm making X amount. I'm welding right now. I just need to make half that for me to stop and be like, now I'm gonna go part-time job, not completely stop doing the job, you know what I mean? Go part-time job, but now I'm making half. I grew up how I grew up. I went to I can survive off tuna. My girl, my kid, they eat steak. I can make tuna sandwiches, dog. And I'm gonna be home more, happier, and doing what I love. So once I can double down on the music shit, gotta take that opportunity. So the goal right now is to just split that income, you know what I mean, and make that within the music. So to get to that goal, the steps to me, what I'm thinking, and hopefully it can help other artists, is I'm building my catalog slowly. So here in the next year, let's just go over the next year. So within a year, I would like to quit my job, have a part-time job. How I'm gonna get there? I'm gonna go ahead. We got D&D, the music video, dropping February 21st, I believe, or it's the third week of February. And then we got the Surge dropping for D&D as well. You know what I'm saying? And just keep creating content behind that. And I'm gonna basically promote that song for a good 6 weeks. But while I do that, since I make so much music and I got so much of a back catalog, I'm going to go ahead and still drop singles every like 2 weeks within that 6-week period. So, because then I can still, on Spotify, you can promote it on your Spotify algorithmic playlist or whatever, or the Spotify algorithmic playlist. And you need at least 2 weeks in between each drop to be able to promote the song. So you don't want to drop more than that. You don't want to drop any more than that. And I'm not doing that forever. That's just probably for the year because I have so much fucking music. Like, and I got to get it out and I want my back catalog built. But the ones that are, and who knows, maybe one of those could be the song that pops off. Right. That I do no marketing behind and I do content, but not crazy. I'm making the cover arts. I'm doing all that shit, making the videos. At like editing some of them, sometimes I'm collaborating, you know what I mean, with Nastycollective. Sometimes I'm collaborating with Will Bernal. Hey, shout out Will Bernal, Lost in Venture. He's doing the D&D music video. Nice. So, but a lot of like the content that I put out on a weekly basis, you know what I mean, is like shit I gotta edit together and do all that shit. So it takes time. So, and you want to focus your time on the songs you believe in the most and the songs that represent you the most. So that's what we're going to do over the course of the next year. I hope to put out, what would that be in total? Like 8 music videos, something like that. Nice. I hope to make more stops here and just like conversate more, get to know you more, bro. And like hear your story more. And just get more of myself out there to the people.
I want to go ahead and ask you, with all the experience that you experienced, with all the knowledge that you gained, what kind of advice could you give to the homies and homettes out there, doing their thing and, rocking out in the free world? What kind of advice could you give them out there?
All right. The advice I would give, I'm going to go ahead and give the advice I would give to just an artist first. So if you are a singer, songwriter, rapper, whatever, singer, in a band, whatever it is, just focus on doing what you do super fucking well and finding like your zone. You know what I mean? Because it took a while for me to find my zone. Like, for example, with music, like, it didn't just happen right away when I bought the equipment. Like, it was a process. So just, like, do what you do super well. And you have to love it, too. Make sure you love it. Because if you don't love it, you're going to get burned out. If you don't love it, it's just not going to last. Like, for real, it won't. Right. That's with anything, So, like I said, I keep saying it because it's the most important thing to me, is get super fucking good at what you do, because then it gives you drive for everything else in your life. When you're fucking good at what you do and what you love, bro, it gives you like a boost of confidence everywhere. You know what I mean? You're 20% better everywhere else in life just because you're fucking great at what you do and you have confidence in that fucking thing. Whether you're getting paid for it yet or not, whether it's super profitable. I love this fucking quote. I think it's Earl Nightingale, maybe. I can't remember exactly who said it, but it's and I might butcher it, but it's essentially, once you come up with your ultimate goal. My ultimate goal, you asked me about goals. Ultimate goal, I want to be a fucking rock star. Truly, that's what I wanted. Like, humbly, I'll accept whatever God has in store for me, and I'll be happy with anything. You know what I mean? Because it's Lost World Gang to the moon. I've been lost my whole life. If I get a tribe of 1,000, hey, we like Spartans in this bitch, dog. We 1,000 strong. You know what I mean? But the goal is rock star because it's mostly for, I want my kids to look at me and be like, Dad is fucking superhero. I got one right now. I want a lot. I want a lot of kids. A lot. And that's going to cost a lot of money. So that's also why I need to do it. And righteously so, it's going to cost a lot because, I'm going to raise them right. So yeah, once you come up with once you come up with the definitive goal in your mind and you know which direction you're fucking going, and you love it, it's your passion, you're already successful. You're already successful. Because once you just put that at the forefront of your mind every day, think about it all the time, write it down, however you gotta put it in your life for you to constantly be reminded about it, do that, you're already successful, bro. You're ready. No matter what money comes in, like, no matter when it comes, it's gonna come.
Right.
It's gonna come. Because it was the same shit with the trap shit, bro. And that's where I learned that from. It's like, it's gonna come. I knew nobody, and then one day I knew everybody. And people are like, how'd that happen? And it's like, I was focused.
Yeah.
Like, intentional effort. Focus yourself on intentional effort, and that starts with picking what you fucking love to do and doing that shit. And if you don't know what you love to do, that's awesome. Because then you could just experiment with shit. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to fall out of love with something and fall in love with something. At one point in my life, I thought I was going to be a fucking professional skateboarder. Nah, no. Not in the cards where you ain't coordinated enough. You know what I mean? But I gave it my all, dog. I used to fucking, give that shit my all. Turns out I'm just better with words and jumping around on the stage and shit, not jumping off of fucking ledges. Learn how to become disciplined. And that's like a train thing. You have to train yourself to do that shit. Trust me, I know what it's like to be undisciplined. So I know it's like a thing you gotta train. And it's something you battle every fucking day. But you gotta just get up and do it. And whatever, I do a lot of different things to get there. I'm sure you'll find your own way. I'd say be healthy, work out, eat right. And this is all to make you a better artist, too. All this shit's going to make you a better artist, in my opinion. Have good relationships with people. Don't do nobody dirty. Don't send any money to weirdos in your DMs that say they're radio DJ and fucking up for Hot 97, because rappers, you'll get a lot of them. Don't get scammed. Be wary of all that shit. Vet all that shit. Don't pay for views. Get there organically.
Yeah.
Be authentic. People see through the bullshit, man. Just be authentic. Be yourself. If no matter what that is, bro. If you have anxiety in front of the camera, you don't necessarily have to say I have anxiety in front of the camber, but find a way to make that shit funny, because anxiety can be fucking funny. You know what I mean? Like people, like whatever it is. Don't let your temporary feelings get in the way of making your goals happen and shit. So, as Socrates would say, don't let your right? I think that's what he said. He said something like, "Don't let your temporary feelings get in the way of your goals and shit."
I fuck with that. Shout out Socrates. It's one of the realest shit I ever heard.
Yo, Nasty, bro. I appreciate this.
And
shit, dog.
Look, man, of course, bro. Of course. You know what I mean? If anything, I appreciate you
real quick, actually.
Doing this. For me.
Got some gifts for you here. We got the Lost World.
For me?
Sweater.
Damn.
Here. We got
okay.
Lost World.
Damn.
T-shirt.
Shout out to you, bro. For real.
And then we got, I like these bags a lot, dog. I got my fanny pack here.
Show that shit. Hey.
And then we got the Lost World bag for you.
Damn, you sell these?
Invited me.
You sell these online?
It's not up online yet, but if people hit me in the DM, why not LWC? It's YNOT LWC. That's on all platforms, TikTok and Instagram and all that, or lostworldcreators.com. You could go there, sign up for our email, send us an email. We could get back to you. But we haven't set up the store yet. But all this shit, we're letting it go cheap too.
Damn.
Just to help us fund everything.
That shit gonna be nice as fuck.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me here, bro.
I appreciate
I had to
that
bring
shit
some
heavy,
stuff.
bro.
Shout out to my girl, man. My girl makes all this stuff.
Damn, that's what's up,
my beautiful
bro.
fiance.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
She's
what's
out
up,
right
bro.
now with. I want to come back, dude, because I'm gonna have a fleet, a little militia of soldiers, bro. That's gonna be my kids, dog. That's ideal. So I have to make this music. Gotta work. That's why I rap like the Rents do every time, because. Yeah, I got to get this check, and I got to keep popping out more kids, dog.
Yeah.
And we going to keep running and connect with people. I know there's a lot of young men out there, young women out there going through circumstances similar to mine, worse than mine, whatever. And I'm not comparing no one's pain. I don't think we should do that. Right. But going through circumstances similar and life experiences similar and can relate to the music. And even if you can't relate to the lyrics, I do everything in my power to make the melodies and the vibe and the flow to just make it like you don't even gotta listen to the words, bro. But people, I remember when people used to hate on that, like you can't even understand the words or whatever. Why is it popular? Because you don't even gotta listen to the words.
Yeah.
His voice is the
vibe.
instrument. His voice is an instrument to the beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope. So that's another piece of
That's a
advice
good way
on
of
this,
seeing
bro.
that shit too.
Yeah.
No,
Make
sure.
it so you don't even gotta hear the words.
Yeah.
But when the words are real, coming from an authentic place,
Right.
that's when you get real fans. Where they're like, oh shit, he is
They can
saying
stick
some
around,
shit.
you know. They catch a vibe with you.
Maybe
and
one or
hang
two
out.
bars are for the turn up, for the fun. But those 2-3 bars he said right before that was some real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And find that balance. Find that. I think it's smart to find that balance too. And
Yeah, for sure.
Keep it simple, stupid as well. That's a good one. I think
Right.
that's a piece of advice I had to take. I used to try to rap like Eminem too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a banana hammer.
Yeah.
Like I used to try to do that a little too much. So
You just found your
it's
style.
it's
You found
cool,
your
but I found my
now.
style. Yeah. That shit is dope.
Yeah.
That shit is no disrespect. Obviously, Eminem is
No, for
fucking
sure.
the goat, dude. I used
Yeah.
to listen to Eminem all the fucking time. All the time. That's all I listen to, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine me, baggy G-Unit fucking pants, G-Unit shirt.
I was about to say, some 50 Cent too, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
50
of course,
Cent, dog.
bro.
I used to have his gear,
Yeah.
homie. I used to listen to it. But I put myself in a box doing that. Because when I
Right.
used to do that, I used to hate on other artists, low-key. I used to be like, they're not fucking real artists. And then I started actually recording myself and learning the plugins and realizing that's a whole thing in itself, engineering. And then, I can make my voice do crazy things. And now, like, just how you get more comfortable on the mic, you find your own style, bro.
Right.
And it's the most fucking fun you'll ever have in your life.
That's why you gotta stay in your lane, you know, and just
don't-
build yourself as crazy as you can. You
exactly,
know,
exactly.
Like, know your style, fuck with it,
Whatever
and hold
time
it on
you
your
spend,
chest.
whatever time you spend thinking about someone else and what they're doing,
It's wasted
is
time on
garbage
you.
time. It's
Yeah.
wasted energy. It's doing nothing productive,
Right.
and it's not changing what they fucking got going on, and it's not changing how people that support them feel about what they got going
Yeah.
on. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That was
why-
like when
yeah.
I was in that mode. That's you learn. You know what I mean? That's being 18. And I'm sitting there and Eminem, one of my favorite rappers, so I'm rapping
Right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like bars, intricate.
But that's why
you
that
gotta
shit,
li-
that's
you gotta
that's what
listen
it's
back,
about, bro.
You gotta
That shit's
listen back.
badass,
Yeah,
bro.
it is badass.
It's
You gotta
badass,
listen
for
back.
sure.
You gotta listen back 3 times
Yeah.
to understand it sometimes,
Right.
which is fucking sick. But at the time, being a young kid, I put myself in that box where I thought like, and then Lil Yachty's popping off and shit, and I'm like, that shit sucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
No,
I
I know
used to
what you
hate,
mean,
dude.
bro.
I used to hate.
I know what
And
you
then when I
mean.
started making music, like actually recording myself and doing all that, that's when I realized everything is dope.
Yeah.
Everything
And they
is
put
dope,
their time
and I'm
into this
tripping.
shit and everything.
Yeah, everything. And then
Yeah.
I became this melting pot. If you've ever listened to my music, I think you'll feel the same way. I became this melting pot of like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's still an element when I sit down and turn that studio on.
Yeah.
There's still an element of me that remembers watching fucking 8 Mile. You know what I mean? There's still an element that remembers me Googling like Eminem in the studio, Eminem Rap Olympics when I was a kid,
Right.
and just like admiring the crazy bars. So then I pull up a beat and I'm like, I'm going to fucking add some of that,
Yeah.
but I'm going to add the melodies
Right.
of, I don't know, pick whatever artist you want to pick. I'm going to add the melodies of a pop song within, but like I'm going to use some intricate bars like Eminem. So
Yeah.
like once you open your heart to just loving everything, like you were saying, once you open your heart to that, like the possibilities of what you can create is even endless. You know what I mean? Because you love everything.
Right.
So
And
you're
even
gonna mix it all
and even if
together.
you don't fuck with it, you're just like, all right, you know. And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
You know, because
exactly.
you're obviously entitled to your opinion
Bro,
regardless.
I used to make songs.
Yeah.
Bro, if you go and fuck it. If you want to laugh a little bit, maybe
Oh.
I still enjoy it. No,
Right.
I still enjoy it. But on SoundCloud, it's just Joey Sierra. It's just my name.
Look
Just
it up.
Joey Sierra on SoundCloud. There's about 3 hours worth of music on there. I used to drop like a song a day back when I lived in LA. And yeah, there's a lot of songs on there. Go back and listen to that shit, dude. That's like, watch me grow. And then go and listen to all my shit that's out on all platforms is Why Not LWC. And it's, you're like, holy shit, the growth here.
Yeah.
And just like the comfortability. That too, I didn't know how to engineer yet. I was just going to the studio. So like, way different.
So what kind of shout outs you got for the people out there? You know, let them know a little bit.
Okay, so first off, Why Not LWC? That's on all platforms. YNOT LWC. And then make sure you follow Lost World Creators, because when you follow that as well, you're following me, because everything that I'm posting is getting posted on there. And then the bros too. So let me shout out the bros real quick. So we got
Listen up.
we got 2 aka 2Trill2Face. That's 2Trill2Face LWC on Instagram and on TikTok. Then we got Facey Calamari LWC. So actually, bro, just go by Facey, but you can go ahead and follow him on Instagram at FACEY_CALAMARILWC, which is just Facey _Calamari LWC. But I spelt that out for y'all.
So you better go follow that shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I did that pretty well, too. I've had a couple shimmer and a little dabby dude.
That's what's up.
And then we got Jumps10 LWC. Follow my bro. He helped with the business side of some shit. And then we got Will Bernal, a.k.a. Lost in Venture. That's Lost in Venture on Instagram. He did the D&D music video. He's done a lot of, like, content videos for us and Lost Fest video. And he's done a lot of stuff with us. So shout out Will. That's Lost in Venture on Instagram. Then we got Nate Laurent. Come to the team, bro. Nate Laurent on Instagram. KP Killam. He does a lot of all the songs I've been dropping recently. Never Miss. Ownership. What else? My Blood. He's producing all that shit. So KP Killam, tap in with him, tap in with bro for the beats. Then we got Tyson Dowler, my brother. He does MMA, dog, and he a fucking savage with it. He's gonna be in the UFC soon.
Hey.
Shout out Tyson Dowler. I know he got a fight coming up soon too. I'm pretty sure it's for the belt. So we gonna win that amateur belt, then we're gonna move on to the pros. Yeah. Maybe stick around, choke a couple more people out, not a couple people out of amateur. I think he might. And then shout out to my girl, man. I don't put out my family too much like that. If you, low-key, can you cut out my daughter's name?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So shout out to my girl and my daughter. Love y'all forever. Reason I do all this shit, man. Thank you, Nasty, bro. I appreciate you having me here, dog. And I want to do this shit more, for real. And I don't know, maybe, who knows? Might move back. I don't know. We might. So
land of possibilities.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities out there. February 10th, D&D is dropping. We got the Surge dropping.
Probably this Friday coming up.
Yeah, this Friday coming up. Pop it up right here.
It's popping on the fucking channel, bro. Stay in contact. But who knows when we got this one? This is gonna be a long one.
And shout out Bobo, dog. Shout out my homie Bo. Shout out Lincoln Alexander. Who else? No, let me just make sure.
Somebody gonna be mad as fuck. They're gonna be like,
shout out my whole family. Shout out God. Shout out my future in-laws. Shout out who else? Yeah, shout out God. First and foremost, shout out my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this shit is possible. So yeah, give thanks to him every day. And then who else, bro? Shout out my homie Finn, dog. Shout out to everybody at work, dog. That shit sucks. Production welding sucks. It pays fucking well, but it sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, stream my music. Stream everyone on Lost World's music. If you go to lostworldcreators.com, you'll see everyone's link. Yeah.
I appreciate you, my boy. Thank you for being out here doing this, video, dealing with everything. And yeah, my boy, I appreciate you,
dog.
Shit was smooth.
Yeah.
We out here.
It was fun.
And that's the Nastycollective podcast. You know what I mean? The Nastycollective show, whatever you want to fucking call it. Do y'all thing in the comments. Let us know how this shit go. And yeah, man, have a blessed day. Blessings. We out. Dose.